Life is good when we dwell in the consciousness of the Spirit. When we know we're connected to something greater, and that who we are is bigger than any circumstance or condition that we face, life gets a lot sweeter. When you're free from attachment to the world, it's funny that when you're free from attachment to the world, you get all of that and more back. But it's like you've got to be willing to loosen your hold on it so that it can come to you. In Hinduism, they have a thing where there's a goddess of prosperity and a goddess of wisdom, and I think they're sisters. And they say that if you pursue the one sister, the goddess of prosperity, she shies away from you. She eludes you. But if you pursue the sister of wisdom, then prosperity always comes. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? I think it's difficult for us to give up attachment to the things of this world, because we think if we give up attachment to the things of this world, then we're not going to have them anymore. But what's spiritually accurate is that we get to experience them in a greater way because we're free from them when we experience them. That we get to have them in a greater way. I think this is why people, shirk away from the spiritual path. They sort of dip a toe into the pool, maybe a whole foot now and then, but then pull it out, because they think it's going to be the end of their good times. Like God actually wants you to not have a good time. When I was a kid, I used to see those pictures of the saints that all had arrows in them and stuff like that. And I was kind of like, oh, if that's loving God, I want nothing to do with that, But I realize now that it's not God that does that. I'm the one who does that. I do that to me. Those arrows actually are self-inflicted, which is why I stay in the tomb so long. Oh my God. So I like this metaphor of the caterpillar. And the caterpillar, at some point, spins a cocoon around itself, and then the most extraordinary thing happens. When I was a kid, I thought the caterpillar was just inside the cocoon. What I didn't know until I got older was, while the caterpillar is in the cocoon, the caterpillar dissolves and just completely turns to goo. I can relate to that. I can. I have been in the tomb and felt like I'm just goo. How did this happen to me? We would say today, I had a meltdown. The caterpillar has a meltdown in the cocoon and is no longer a caterpillar. They are just liquid. It's as if they've been put into a ninja or a super bullet, And so over time, though, that goo gets reformed and starts to become a butterfly. Now, we all know kids who did this, but nobody here. Certainly nobody here. That you see one of those little cocoons and it's starting to break open and there's a caterpillar in there and you think, I'm going to help. I'm going to help. And so you help break open the cocoon. The problem with that is that emerging butterfly needs to press out of the cocoon himself, because that's where he gets the strength that he's going to need to be able to fly. If you do it for him, hear this, codependents. Nature always teaches us, if you do it for him, he doesn't develop the strength to be able to do it for himself. Inherently, the wisdom is already within him to know how to do it for himself. Right? So your helping is not helping. Right? We have to just Now, for those of us who are kind of feeling like we've been goo, and maybe there's even a little caterpillar-ness that's going to emerge into butterfly-ness in our future, hopefully our near future, we have to make the most of this time in between.